Bronx, New York, and it is Game 2 between Oakland and the Yankees as they battle for the American League pennant. What a sight. Rudy May will be the pitcher for the Yankees, and this is the lineup he will be facing. Henderson leads off in left field. Batting second in center field, Murphy. Batting third, Moore at first base. Tony Armas in the cleanup spot in right field. Klutz is at third base. Heath is the catcher. McKay at second base. Rick Possetti is the DH, and Stanley is the shortstop.
And it is starting again. Very slowly, Ricky Henderson is coming into the box. In last night's ball game, Martin had his team ready, and 6 or 7 minutes they waited on the dugout steps while Tommy John continued to warm up. So Henderson just waltzes into the batter's box.
So here's the first pitch of the game. It's a curveball strike. Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek here at Yankee Stadium, Game 2. And I'll tell you, the game last night almost drifted into insignificance with all the byplay. Well hit, left center field. Mumphrey says, "I'll take it," and he does.
Rudy May, who came off a great season last year with 15 wins, struggled this year. He lost, as his catcher Rick Cerrone said, his velocity, didn't have his fastball. But he pitched well near the end of the year, Joe, and if anything's going to help him today, first of all, a left-hander in this ballpark makes him more impressive. There are his stats for this season, but he's going to have a shadow over home plate by about the second or third inning, which is going to make it awfully tough to see the baseball.
Here's Murphy. It's a strike. Left field towards the latter part of the game will be a tough field. The haze, background, the ball coming out of the background of the fans. It's a strike. 2 strikes. Murphy last night walked twice, drove in the only run as he bounced out to the second baseman. 61 degrees. Game time. Now they want to look at the ball.
Look at Russ. There.
He wanted to make sure he didn't throw the ball in.
Not a boy, Russ.
Russ gets behind the plate. Jerry Newdecker at first. Springstead and Merrill. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball game just underway. Struck him out. 2 outs. And the batter will be Kelvin Moore, who was moved up in a lineup change.
Last night in the ball game, when Cliff Johnson tried to take out Willie Randolph at second base, he bruised his hip and his thigh. He came out and tried to hit and couldn't. I'm sure he'll be available for pinch hitting duties if need be. So Billy Martin had some last-minute lineup adjustments.
Moore, the first baseman, takes it low, ball 1. It was interesting watching Cliff Johnson being interviewed by the non-athlete and the athlete. I'll get into that in just a minute. There's a strike. The non-athlete broadcaster saying, "Were you stalling?" And Johnson saying, "No, I wasn't." The athlete saying, "Would you do that if Bob Gibson was pitching?" Straight away center field. Mumphrey has it. It's 1, 2, 3. So, as we go into the bottom half of the first inning, no score. A's nothing, Yankees nothing. One of the more famous skylines, the skyline of Manhattan. As we work our way back towards Yankee Stadium. Steve McCatty is on the mound, and he'll be facing this Yankee lineup. Jerry Mumphrey in center field. Milburn bats second at shortstop. Winfield is the left fielder. Jackson in the cleanup spot in right field. Gamble is the DH. Graig Nettles at third base. Watson at first base. Cerrone is the catcher. And Randolph bats ninth at second base. It was interesting, Tony, talking about the different questions as we look at McCatty's statistics. Pee Wee Reese chipped in and said, would you have done that? You, Casey, or Brooks Lawrence was pitching.
Well, I think the dumbest question of all was, Cliff, did you stall so you could get Goose Gossage in the ball game? And Cliff looked and had that funny smirk on his face and said, sure, that's like taking a little stronger dose of poison. Would you rather bat against Gossage or Davis? Either way, you got a problem. Henderson in left, Murphy in center, Armas in right field. If you saw the game last night, they were outstanding once again. Mickey Klutz at third, Stanley playing shortstop today. They call him Chicken. Dave McKay at second, Calvin Moore at first, Mike Keith the catcher, and Steve McCatty with a good fastball, very lively, and a good slider. A power pitcher, the kind of pitcher that the Yankees prefer facing as opposed to a Norris with a lot of change of speeds on his deliveries.
Klutz is in close at third base. McCatty was tied for the most wins in the American League with 14. There you see Klutz as the first pitch goes low and outside for ball one. Mumphrey was 1 for 4 last night. It's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. For as hard as he throws, McCatty averages 4.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. Averages 3 walks per 9 innings pitched.
McCatty, a kid who is unheard of on this pitching staff. There is Billy and his pitching coach. Well, he's blocked out now, Art Fowler. But scouting reports hurt McCatty early in the year last year, and I think it's interesting.
Off the handle down the left field line. Trouble. It drops. Double into the stands. It's a 2-base hit. As he sawed the bat off in his hands, but Mumphrey got enough wood on it, and he's got himself a double.
A tough spot for players. You can see that little jutting out spot. Not as severe as in Fenway Park, Boston, but a shortstop's got to get out there in a hurry as Stanley did. See Henderson coming over, who made an outstanding catch in the left field corner yesterday. The center fielder and left fielder just outrun base in the baseball. Armas showed you the great throw from right field last night.
So here's Milburn. Pick off it. Nope. Diving back is Mumphrey. Milburn is really hot. He has 7 base hits in his last 9 times at bat. Klutz is playing in close as if expecting a bunt, but if Milburn does bunt, it'll be for a base hit.
He is not much of a pull hitter, Milburn, so he might elect on his own, not being able to pull the ball, to try and drag the ball to the right side to advance the runner to the third.
It's high, ball 1. He was going to try to drag it. Jerry Mumphrey at second base, leadoff man for the Yankees. Blooped the double down the left field line.
Clete Boyer from the dugout moving his third baseman Klutz around. He's really got him shallow again.
Outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Klutz has to be careful because he's kind of in no man's land. If he comes up too far, Mumphrey will just come waltzing down.
Klutz, formerly property of the Yankees, at left side of the infield, in fact, along with Chicken Stanley, short.
Foul ball, 2 balls and a strike. They have extra security here today at the ballpark. 320.
It is not a full house. There are a lot of empty seats.
Security inside the ballpark. 375, 120 city police. Time.
On the backswing, Milburn's bat was touched by the catcher, Mike Keith, and he asked for time and got it from Russ Getz. Good pitcher's ballpark.
There you see some of the empty seats that Tony was referring to. Base hit to left field. And of course, Mumphrey had to wait to see that ball get through the infield. He did, and then moved over to third. So it's first and third, and the third, fourth, and fifth place hitters coming up.
And Joe, you hate to use the expression this is a must game, but it is for several reasons for the Oakland A's, because they obviously would want to get a split. Here's the base hit by Milburn, by Stanley, who was playing up the middle trying to hold the runner. But when you look at the first two pitchers for the Yankee, Tommy John and Rudy May, they are no slouches by any means. But when they go back to Oakland, they're going to get Righetti and Guidry, who have been just so outstanding, as good as anybody in baseball over the second half. So they would be in a deep hole if they lost this ball game.
And it's first and third for the Yankees with nobody out. Bottom half of the first inning, and Dave Winfield in the batter's box. Winfield was 0 for 3 last night. Outside, ball 1. That's Mumphrey and Milburn. Get the nits and nats on and let the Lions and Tigers drive them in. Popped up. Stanley shading his eyes, battling the sun. Makes the play. He had some problems, Tony.
The sun in Yankee Stadium at this time of the year is absolutely vicious. There's not a cloud in the sky. Left fielder and the shortstop, as you just saw, have difficulties. Not as bad as it once was. There's Yankee Stadium, Bronx, New York.
Conceded there wasn't a cloud up there to help the ball players. That's what they look for. Little angels up there that kind of break that monotonous blue when you're looking at a pop fly. Reggie Jackson. Jackson scored a run. He was 0 for 3 last night. It's a strike, but Jackson doesn't believe it. Mumphrey is at third. Milburn is at first.
Jackson just missed one ball last night. Said a ball that he hit left center field off Mike Norris. So he got the pitch he wanted, a fastball in, but he was just a couple of inches off the pitch. A little late.
Strike. Oddly enough, they played Jackson straight away.
They pitched Jackson inside. When Underwood came in yesterday, he threw a ball near Jackson just like that. The pitch is not really that close to Reggie. When he starts diving into the ball, I think they play him straight away, Joe. They figure if he pulls the ball, it's a home run anyway. So they're going to protect the gap in right center field where it's 385, and also the gap in left center field. Reggie can drive the ball in that direction also.
And these outfielders can get to those gaps in a hurry. Bouncing ball to McKay. There is one. And Milburn going down prevents Stanley from throwing the ball, although I don't think Fred was going to throw that ball at all, Tony.
No way. He had no chance for Reggie. McKay made a good play going to his left, and yet still get the lead runner.
Number 17.
Goes to Stanley.
Oscar Gamble, designated hitter. Number 17.
Stanley, a veteran player, very wisely holds on to the ball. He sees as he comes up throwing, he's not going to get Reggie. Why throw the ball away? We don't want another runner on second base.
So it's 1-0. The Yankees take the lead. Last night they had 3 runs in the first. Went on to win the game 3-1.
This is interesting right now with Jackson at first base. They're not holding him on. Watch what's going to happen. They're playing behind him at first base. They're going to give Reggie leeway, and they're going to pull a pitch out and hope Reggie steals.
They watched him last night.
Bet.
There's the pitch out. Billy was talking about
He's trying to set Reggie up.
Billy said last night they wanted to pitch to Gamble anyhow, so they let Reggie run last night, but they're going to play behind him the first pitch and pitch out. Reggie didn't go for the bait. Now they're holding him on. Gamble doesn't get it. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. There you see Billy going through the signs. Clete Boyer, who was prominently mentioned for the Atlanta job.
That last thing we saw was a little bit of Billy ball. Now, last night, that stalling stuff was a lot of baloney.
Foul ball out of play.
That made the game boring is what it did. All that was going on and delayed the game. But that was the kind of stuff, the way Billy keeps his mind in the ball game. That little bit of edge that some managers don't think about. Try and set Reggie up. No, he didn't fall for it that time. But the kid is in the game at all times.
Well, I tell you, he does a lot of things. Whether it was boring or interesting, he had the Yankees thinking about him rather than the game. Tap, McCatty will make the play. In time, Gamble is out. That ends the first inning, but the Yankees take a 1-0 lead as we go into the second inning. And for Oakland, it'll be Armas, Klutz, and Heath. It's right outside Yankee Stadium, and as you can see, it's that time of the year when Mother Nature gets that multicolored brush. Leaves, change, beautiful colors. Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek here at Yankee Stadium. It's the second inning. And Tony, tonight there'll be some more action with the Dodgers and the Expos.
That was a nice shot outside the stadium. Pretty good ball players went through those playgrounds. Look out.
Well hit. Winfield leaps, makes the catch. What a play. Robbed him of a home run.
Winfield tore a hole in the protective canvas when he caught his cleats. He braced his foot into the wall. Watch it tear. He puts his right foot, goes up, pulls it out of the stands. It would have been tie. He absolutely robbed Tony Armas. What a great player he is. Last night he pressured, preventing a double play which set up the inning. They're showing on a replay right now here at Yankee Stadium. He's a marvelous athlete. He may not hit the home runs that Reggie does, but he is so good running, so good with the glove, so good throwing. That is an absolute marvelous catch by Dave Winfield. What an athlete.
Winfield is listed at 6'6", and he really got up there and just took a home run away from Tony Armas.
Unquestionably the best athlete on the field.
Strike one on Klutz. Dave Winfield. That's not the first time he's tried that and done it. Pull foul. Remember on the pregame show out of Milwaukee, we were doing a Detroit game.
Well, we saw him do that twice and just missed in the All-Star game in Cleveland after the strike.
They said that Don Money hit a ball in the last game here. That Lemon said he saw him poised. I thought he was going to jump to the flagpole. What a play he made. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mickey Klutz, 1 out.
Once you get through the first 4 hitters in the Oakland lineup, as far as power is concerned, you don't have a big problem.
Dave Winfield, who made a great play. We just talked about that play earlier. Now watch this one that he made. Another amazing. Now watch him. He gets poised. It's against Baltimore, and up he goes. What a... Oh,
that's
brother.
even a better catch than the one he just made.
He went in the second row for that one. About needed a ticket. That was earlier this year, and he didn't tear the canvas that time. This time he did. 2 balls, no strikes.
Joe, Billy has really boosted his ball club, and he really has refused to take credit. There's one of the headlines out in the bleachers. He's really boosted his ball club and stuff, and really doesn't take unfair shots at his club. But when you look at the lineup that he's got after the first 4 hitters, when you got Mickey Klutz, and that's not a knock at Mickey, but he's not a 5th place hitter. Then you go down through Heath, McCabe, Bassetti, and Stanley today. You don't have a whole lot of power in that lineup right there. He has done it with strict fundamentals, and they did lead the league in home runs this year with 104.
And pretty good pitching. 3-1. A base hit. Heath sends one back up the middle. That young guy, talking to Peter Gammons about him, because we were talking about his throwing. And I said, you wrote that he was the best throwing catcher in the American League. He said, I'm just going by what the scouts said. So that's what the scouts are saying about Heath, who's on at first base.
I'll take Cerrone, but not much, though.
2 pretty good catches, I'll say that.
Fisk is still a good catcher, even though he's been injury-prone lately. He's excellent as far as handling a game and calling pitches, but he's had some arm problems. Sundberg is excellent.
McKay, it's a strike. In the first inning, Rudy May retired the side using only 9 pitches. 7 were strikes. He's got 2 outs and a base runner here. It's a 1-0 ball game. The Yankees leading Oakland. Armas, in a bid to make it 1-1, was robbed of a home run by that catch of Winfield. Milburn to Randolph. The force is on. Heath is forced at second. And the highlight of this inning was this catch. He goes up, braces himself on the padding, rips a hunk out, but comes up with the ball. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Yankees over Oakland. Run average leader, 2.32 over Stewart, 2.33, and it's kind of an interesting story as to how he nipped Stewart. There's a strike. Under the ruling, they rounded off. McCatty pitched 185 and 2/3 innings, but it goes to 186, and that allowed him to nip Sammy Stewart, who ended up with a 2.33 earned run average. McCatty 2.32. If they didn't round it off, Stewart would have won.
Talking about 1 batter difference, 1/3 of an inning.
Isn't that amazing? Pull foul.
This guy batting right now, who got the big 2-out doubles, driving home all 3 runs, is an indication of the difference in these 2 lineups. He's batting 6th. He can take you deep. Man after him, Watson, can take you deep, and Cerrone batting 8th can. So you're talking about 6, 7 guys in the Yankee lineup, as opposed to maybe 3 who can hit the ball out of the ballpark for you. And the additional thing is they've got it stacked with left-handed hitters, the Yankees, who can reach that short porch.
Bob Lemon looking on. Rick Cerrone. Cerrone was able to laugh about it, but last night, an incident of some firecrackers and fireworks going off. I asked him today. He said he was at the bat rack and he heard it go off. He said, I went diving because he had been receiving threatening calls. Base hit, right field. No doubt about that one. They have beefed up the security here. It's 175 extra city policemen outside and inside the park, and some 320 security, in hopes that they'll reduce those incidents. Bob Watson, the batter. 1-0. Yankees are leading. We're in the bottom of the second.
He hit a ball a ton yesterday, didn't he? Right in front of that 430 sign and came away with nothing. Toughest park to hit it in baseball for a power hitter if you're right-handed.
It's a strike. Nettles really gave a good bluff. You could hear the Oakland bench holler, there he goes.
It was so good that he got Stanley, the shortstop, out of position, knowing Puff, as they call Nettles. I'm sure he had a smile at Chicken Stanley, his former teammate.
High fastball. 2 strikes to count.
McCatty, a pitcher who 2 seasons ago sat in a team meeting, and they were going over hitters, Joe, and they said, this guy's a dead fastball hitter, you got to give him breaking balls. So every time he heard that, he would try and throw a slop curve, which he didn't have. And he said, that really goofed me up, till Fowler said, what are you doing? You're a power pitcher. He said, I'm just following the meeting's orders, that's all. And about the middle of last season, Fowler took that curveball away from him, went slider, fastball, which are his power pitches. They're asking for the ball again. It's getting a little difficult to see now, I would think, as the shadow is now over the batter's box.
Number 10, Rick Cerrone.
Swings way underneath the ball. Art Fowler, the pitching coach, said that his fastball is very lively. Liable to do anything in the strike zone up high.
That's his first strikeout, McCatty. And that brings up Rick Cerrone. 1 man out. Trying to go to right field, fouls it off. McCatty is a practical joker. It's a hot football club. In fact, I tell you, it was funny listening to Billy Martin. He says before he comes out, he soaks his shoestrings and really gets them wet so they can't set him on fire. He was putting a squeeze play on, a suicide squeeze. He said in Chicago, he looked down and his shoes were burning. That's a loose ball club. Doesn't get it. 2 strikes. to put a caption on what you talked about those meetings, I played for managers, Tony, would not let pitchers hear those meetings.
Well, most clubs now will get their pitchers off to the side, because you get in a meeting and say, what does he hit? And some guys saw him in winter ball when he's working on something. Some saw him in the minor leagues, say he's a fastball hitter, low ball, high ball, and you get 14 different opinions. It just messes the young pitcher up.
High fly ball, left field. Henderson coming in, he's battling it, and he's there.
This sun is tough in left field, as we said. Not as tough as it once was. Before they remodeled Yankee Stadium, there was an overhang in which the smoke got trapped, and it became a haze. And it was not only the sun, but the haze. You can see that he is not taking his eye off the ball. Ricky Henderson. The problem you have with the stadium so high is the sun sets right over the top of the stands behind first base. If you put your glasses down too soon, you lose the ball in the dark stands. If you wait too late, it's in the sun, so you better be very precise as to when you put them down.
It was that sun that gave birth to the Yogi Berraism, that it gets late early out there. Ball one. You remember Norm Seaburn in the World Series having some problems. Willie Wilson lost the ball and hit him in the head, and it was an inside the park home run. And there's Yogi, who put it in perspective. It does get late early out there. A base hit in the right center field. Randolph singles, Nettles stops at second. So the Yankees have base runners at first and second.
You just saw two things: the tremendous speed of this outfield cutting off that alley, and the tremendous respect that they have for the throwing arms of not only Armas but Murphy. And Henderson has strengthened his arm a lot. That ball was labeled double. Look at how quickly Murphy gets over. Nettles was going to try it, and when he came up throwing, he said, I better not.
So here is Mumphrey, who doubled and scored the Yankee run. That's how we stand, 1-0 in the bottom of the second. Inside, ball one. Ball that Mumphrey hit for a double was off the handle, down the left field line, bounced into the stands for the ground rule double. Inside again, moves him back. 2 balls and no strikes. McCatty has only hit 2 batters. No wild pitches. He's inside by scouts and by what other information. That's why he's pitching him tight. Not that he's wild. It's by design. Now he's outside, and this is 3-0. 3 balls and a strike. 2 outs. Nettles at second. Randolph is at first.
Talking to Art Fowler, we just saw it happen with McCatty. He said when he gets men on base, he has a tendency to overthrow, and when he does, his fastball straightens out. When he's just relaxed and doesn't try and muscle the ball, he's got much more movement.
High hopper. Moore has it to McCatty. Steps on the bag. Yankees are out in the second inning. So at the end of 2 full innings here, the score, it's New York 1, Oakland 0. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Steinbrenner, Yankee owner. Security people, Pat Kelly in front. That's Irv Kays. And another security man seated next to George. Reggie Jackson had come in. That's the delay. Now he's going back out. They were working on his shoes.
I'm glad Nick Bremigan could get on and clear up that rule that Mr. Steinbrenner didn't quite have right when he came on the air with us. Reggie's having some more problems out there. Is he having a problem with a leg? Or what? He doesn't feel right, or something is wrong. He's having a little problem. An ankle, or what is it? He went in there, looked like he was getting his cleats worked on, but it was the trainer, appeared to be Gene Monahan, who was doing something with him. Now Gene is going to come out again find out what's going on. In the first inning, Reggie grounded out and hit a ball to second base and ran hard. And the kind of injury you might get is an Achilles tendon problem or a jammed heel when you run hard and you leap for the bag and try and make that last step. So he may have hurt his ankle, his heel, or his Achilles tendon. So he will leave the game, escorted by Gene Monahan, and Bob Lemon will have to put somebody out there. It's the only place I can figure out he hurt it. The first inning.
So Jackson is leaving the game. Don't forget, tonight we'll have more baseball for you. The Dodgers and the Montreal Expos. Dodgers won yesterday 5-1. Bob Lemon checking with Reggie. Yogi on the phone. Montreal Expos and the Los Angeles Dodgers for the National League pennant as we look at Billy Martin. That's 8 o'clock Eastern time. That's game 2. And Lou Piniella, as you can hear the fans, Lou Piniella is going out to play right field. The Dodgers will be pitching Fernando Valenzuela.
And you get a chance to hear Dick Enberg and Tom Seaver do the analysis of that ball game and the play-by-play.
Number 14.
Lou Piniella, he'll warm up a little bit.
Rudy May is the pitcher on the mound for the Yankees in game number 2 for the American League pennant. The man who was scheduled to pitch went out to the bullpen a short while ago, Rick Russell, but he had a blister from the start prior to that against the Milwaukee Brewers. He asked out today, but then he went to Bob Lemon and pitching coach Clyde King and said, but I can't go down there if you need me. I can come in and help you out in the bullpen from the right side.
There's Russell in the bullpen, part of the ground crew. If you're wondering, if you were with us last night, how much money the ground crew can make by picking up the money thrown in right field, Sunday one of the ground crew made $118. That's the highest. Bassetti takes a strike. It averages about $60, $70.
Well, it's been made a cute story around here, and I guess we did a little bit last night, but if they're going to prevent people from throwing stuff on the field, they better stop them from throwing money too, because that can hit somebody in the eye.
Bassetti, a foul ball. They waited a bit because we've got 2 umpires who had to make the call. Merrill is at third, Voltaggio is in left field, and now Merrill is pointing just by inches.
You'll get a chance to see exactly where the ball bounces. Didn't see any chalk fly, which you would ordinarily if the ball had hit the line. Ball was really hooking. Bassetti continues to argue. Boyer is not arguing as much, the third base coach. There's Darwood Merrill. Bassetti won his first postseason base hit.
Came within inches. The official word on Reggie Jackson is that he jammed his right foot running out to play, as Tony assumed, and you were right, Tone. 2 strikes on Bassetti. Came over from the Toronto Blue Jays. Down the right field line this time. Piniella's going to get a chance. He'll not get this one. It's a fair ball. Bassetti has himself a double. So he tried both lines and finally got a double down the right field line.
I think it's a very unique role that Rick Bassetti finds himself in today as a DH. With Toronto under Roy Hartsfield. Here it is again. He just kind of slaps at the ball and gets a piece of it in the shadows. No chance for Piniella. But Bassetti has been known as a good defensive outfield with a good throwing arm. Never been known a whole lot for his hitter, although he's shown traces at times of being a decent hitter. To be a DH might show even further the hitting strength of this ball club.
Since he came over from Toronto, Tony, his average has been 105, 2 for 19. That's only his third base hit with Oakland. So here is Fred Stanley, the shortstop. 1-0, the Yankees are leading. We're in the third inning. Stanley knows how to play. He'll try to go to right side.
He'll either do that or push the ball to the right side. Joe, did it look like with Nettles charging that he tried to pop it over his head? He didn't try and deaden that ball at all.
No. I think Billy's going to ask him about something.
What are you doing?
Left fielder.
No, no, no. I wanted you to hit away. You can read Billy's lips. Wanted him to hit the right field. There's a mix-up in signs, or Chicken Stanley decided to do it on his own.
Sure, that's it. He did it on his own, and Billy is not happy at all.
Stanley, a veteran, as you said, you would think if he's not calling it a bunny, he would at least try and slap one shot to the right side, but it didn't work.
So Henderson is a batter. He flied to center field his first time up. One man out.
Wow, that batting stance got him that pitch. That ball is belt high.
Shadows, as you can see, out in front of home plate. Base hit in the right center field. This game will be tied. Bassetti comes in to score. Henderson has himself at least two. He's going for three. Here's the throw, not in time.
We had a chance right there to see the difference in the speeds in the outfield, where Murphy on a ball similar to that cut it off, held Nettles. This time Piniella nor Mumphrey can get to it. Ricky Henderson, one of the most exciting players in the game, stuck with it, took a breaking ball, went the opposite field.
Piniella runs it down, but not before he has a triple, and Henderson led Oakland with 7 triples this season. He's now on at third with 1 out, and we're tied at 1 apiece.
He's asking Clete Boyer who is best base runner on it, not base stealer. He said, well, our best base stealer obviously is Henderson. The base runner, he said, I've seen look out, pickoff attempt at third. They almost got Henderson sleeping. It's an old Whitey Ford Clete Boyer play, and Clete Boyer saw that many times, but he couldn't help Henderson on that one.
It's awful close. They about got Merrill.
It's a count play. As soon as the pitcher picks up his signs and maybe bends his head looking in, he snaps the throw. Nettles times it. It was very close. Just started to say about Henderson that Boyer said he has as good an instincts for a young base runner as he has ever seen. He said he does not need a coach. He may have needed one that time. I don't know if Clete saw it and yelled to him.
He needed a coach or a wake-up call because they caught him looking away. But he got back, and that's the important thing. We're tied 1 apiece. Murphy was out on strikes his first time up.
Tight at the corners.
Fastball misses. Ball 1.
Well, whether they do it or not, excuse me, Joe, the thought is in the minds. Again, this is Billy ball now. The thought is in everybody's mind in that Yankee infield, especially Mays and the catcher Cerrone. They might squeeze. It is always there.
Foul back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Murphy led the American League with 15 game-winning RBIs.
Clete Boyer was saying that one of the big reasons that this club led the league in home runs is, he said, because we get a lot more fastballs. He said it is so ingrained in the opposition's mind that we might steal, we might hit and run, but they'll throw you a fastball.
Out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out. All tied 1 apiece. A double by Bassetti, a triple by Henderson. Tied the Yankees, who scored in the first on a double by Mumphrey, a single by Milburn. Jackson hit into a force play, which allowed Mumphrey to score. Now you see Henderson at third base.
Yankee bullpen starts working.
to play. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
George Frazier has begun to throw. Jeff Torborg, the former manager, coach, will leave and take a baseball coaching job in the Ivy League.
Henderson getting a lead. 1 out. Curveball. Murphy is out on strikes. That's the 3rd strikeout for Rudy May, and what a big strikeout that is. Graig Nettles goes in to talk to his pitcher just to remind him that Henderson is on at 3rd, which again is what these Oakland A's do. They'll have you thinking about him every time that they're on those bases.
Especially now with a right-handed hitter up. Left-hander, that catcher can see him coming. Right-handed hitter, he blocks your view just a shade. Protects the runner as he slides if he can delay getting out of the box in the event of a steal.
Moore flying to center field his first time up. Foul ball, strike 1.
Nothing else, Joe. What they've done now is force Rudy May to pitch from a stretch. And pitching from the stretch, May probably will not have quite the velocity as he does going from the full windup.
Two strikes on Moore. They have chased a bad ball. Cerrone talking to May. Now they want to look at the baseball again.
That's how many times up to this point? At least a half a dozen that Russ Getz had to go out there looking at the ball.
One of the funny things is when an umpire says, "What should I look for?" and the batter says, "I don't know, just look at it." Did he go around? Yes, he did, says the first base umpire, Jerry Neudecker. 4 strikeouts for Rudy May. That ends the inning, but the Oakland A's on a triple by Henderson have tied it up 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Our cameraman is Al Camoin over Yankee Stadium. And that's Al Camoin's shot right there. Reflection of the blimp in the sunglasses. A beautiful fall afternoon here in New York. We're all tied at 1 apiece. And it's inside. Ball 1. Milburn, who's single his first time up. 8 hits in his last 10 at-bats. Inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Klutz is really tight down at third base. He's playing the style of third base that Clete Boyer played, which was the exact opposite of Brooks Robinson. Clete played shallow and dared you hit the ball by him. Brooks played deep and dared you to bunt on him. So take your pick. They were both pretty good, to say the least.
2 balls and no strikes. There's the strike. Rudy May has struck out 4. McCatty has struck out 1. And we're tied 1 apiece in the bottom of the 3rd. Moore bobbles it. Going to take it himself now, and he does.
He's a pretty good looking young prospect. He's feeling his position well, and he's hit some home runs, although he does strike out a lot. He's got a chance to be a good player.
So he gets the first out. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek here at Yankee Stadium with 1 out. Bottom of the 3rd. Oakland 1, Yankees 1. Yankees scored in the first inning, a double by Mumphrey, single by Milburn, force play by Jackson. Oakland came back, a double by Bossetti and a triple by Henderson. 1 ball, and Dave Winfield made the catch of the day so far. He robbed Armas of a home run in the 2nd inning. Went about 2 rows into the stands to make the grab. Outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
He does those little things that mount up during the course of a season, a win or lose ball game. Like last night, pressure on the pivot man. Saves a run already today. May not have the flair of the Willie Mays' or the, of course, Reggie Jackson and that charisma. But as your favorite scout said, he can play.
He can play. Of course, that messes up the executive meetings when they don't go in there with the computers and find out, but that's the report on Winfield. He draws the walk.
Well, Piniella replaced Reggie Jackson in the lineup, an injury to his foot. We'll show you after he got down to first base out that double play. Well, he's going back and forth, so there's no real indication something wrong was with the foot right there, but sometimes when you first hit, Joe, it's a little numb, and then it starts sneaking up on you.
Seems to be okay, but as you say, the longer he went, the more pain he felt. And Piniella's replaced him. Piniella came in the game last night and singled to right. Outfield, as always, shallow. Play a very shallow outfield. Great arms and great speed. Winfield, a good lead at first.
Good hit and run man, too, at the plate. He can get his bat on the ball, Piniella. Winfield can steal you a base.
Got 11 of them caught stealing just once as Piniella takes a look at third base coach Joe Altobelli.
The reason he does not have more stolen base, he's been hitting 3 and Jackson 4 most of the year. You don't steal very much with a left-handed hitter up like Jackson. Take the bat out of his hands. You want that hole open. Look out now.
Oscar Gamble is the on-deck man, and he's swinging a sledgehammer with a weighted bat. One ball on Piniella, long way from the plate. Winfield a good lead. Draws a throw.
Winfield stole 26 bases one year. That is as high in the major leagues for San Diego. When you figure they were behind a lot of those ball games with that team, he didn't have many opportunities.
There he goes, pitch out. Heath had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. He did a double pump. Although Stanley still thinks he had him, but Billy, who calls the pitch outs, had diagnosed it perfectly. And Heath, with a good arm, watch him have trouble getting the ball out of the glove.
That ball sailed on him. Wasn't a slider, but it was like a cut fastball, and it made Heath work a little harder. I'll tell you that hard. He didn't have a good jump, and it was a pretty well executed pitch out. Slides for the outside corner of the bag. Stanley argues he had him.
He'll tell you, he's 6'6". Now watch the strides. How many does it take him? 1, 2. So it's 2 balls, no strikes. Third baseman Klutz to Moore. Winfield has to hold. 2 outs. You know that pitch out play, it's not, if the pitcher doesn't give you a good ball to handle, it can really mess you up. Looks like such a simple play, but if you don't get if he throws it too hard, if it sails, it's not that easy.
McCatty unloaded in a hurry, but he got so much on the ball, it was a really good moving fastball. The kind of cut fastball that we saw Jerry Royce throw for 2 ball games against those Astros. What a lively arm he has.
McCatty motioning to his guys. He'll be over there after ground balls hit to that side. Gamble hit one right back to McCatty his first time up. 1-1, bottom of the 3rd. It's low, ball 1.
One of the reasons, and they're asking for the ball again, is not the fact that McCatty messes around doctoring the baseball. In this ballpark with the shadows, the ball comes up looking like it's black. And sometimes as a hitter, you think they've rubbed out too much of that Lita Blackburn dirt on it. And you see the ball up close and it's perfectly white. But from the sun to the shadows, it is tough. Outside.
2 balls, no strikes. McCatty. One to score. Winfield a leadoff second. It's a strike. High hopper foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs.
Last night, 55,000 people plus showed up at the ballpark. This afternoon, considerably less.
Temperature in the middle 60s. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Didn't mean to swing. Foul ball.
He even pulls the ball in a check swing. Show you how fast he gets the barrel of the bat out.
Oscar talking to himself, and you got to believe that he just doesn't see the ball that well, and that's what he's talking to himself about.
Show you it again. Good sinker by McCatty. This background has been really improved. At one time at Yankee Stadium in center field, World Series time, they had people sitting where that black is. And from the sun to the shade and out of the white shirts, it was really a mess.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McCatty against Gamble. It's a tie score in the bottom of the 3rd, 1 apiece. Well, we get an official medical report on Reggie Jackson. Slight strain of the left calf. Not serious. Expected to play tomorrow. Out on strikes. Gamble doesn't believe it. He's going to question Russ Getz. And he says, get out of here. I call it a strike. Now Joe Altobelli, the third base coach, comes in. Oscar Gamble very unhappy, but that ends the inning at the end of 3. Let's look at that pitch and see what you think.
Gamble questions a lot of inside pitches for the very simple reason that his left foot is almost on home plate.
So at the end of 3, the score here: Oakland 1, Yankees 1.
I do one thing. I kick this ball through those 2 poles. Do one thing all the time. Get to be great. Like Kentucky Fried Chicken. They don't try to do everything. Just chicken, and no one else does it tender and juicy the Colonel's way.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do it right for you.
I do kicking right. They do chicken right.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
Wednesdays, Quincy returns.
Can't wait to see him,
Tackling even tougher cases on NBC.
That's terrific.
Our pride is showing.
Fun at the old ballpark. Armas fouls off the first pitch. It's strike 1. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for Oakland. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Yankees. Game 2. Tomorrow it's Oakland. Tonight, Montreal and the Dodgers in game 2. It's a strike. Armas was robbed of a home run by Winfield his first time up.
He had a chance last night in the ballgame in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded and 2 out to get his ball club back on top.
2-strike pitch. He got him. 5 strikeouts for Rudy May, 3 in a row.
Armas strikes out a lot, but you can throw him the exact same pitch. Really good downward action on the breaking pitch. He pulled the string on a curveball or slider. Armas can come up and hit the exact same pitch downtown on you. Bob Lemon, Hall of Famer.
Here's Klutz. Base hit, right field. Mickey Klutz singles into right field. That brings up the catcher Heath, who singled his center field his only time up.
Catcher, Mike Heath.
You've got to expect one of these times for Billy to start a base runner, especially this part of his lineup now. Guys, you have pretty good bat control. The Heaths, McKays, Stanley, Bassetti even.
Mays had good control, Tony.
Well,
3 innings, 37 pitches, 29 of them strikes.
Even though you struck out 5, when he gives you that breaking ball, if you cut down your swing, especially with his shadows, I think he's going to start some base runners soon.
Outside, ball 1.
The signals come from 4 different places from Billy Martin. From Clete Boyer at third, from Jackie Moore at first, from Billy Martin directly from the bench. Sometimes you will assign a coach to give a sign. You saw Art Wall go to his glasses right there. Not saying it is. Excuse me, Lee Wall.
Art Wall made a hole-in-one for you.
You betcha.
1-0 pitch now. Draws the throw. That's not his good move, obviously.
And many times Billy Martin will call his batters back from the on-deck circle and say, listen, if the first pitch is a ball, I want you to hit and run.
Foul ball out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Heath trying to punch that ball to right field.
Down the left field line here in Yankee Stadium. If that cameraman went up just a little bit, you'd see how that sun glares in the eyes. That left fielder. Get a great view of what Nettles is seeing at third base.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Klutz at first. Pitch out, nothing happening, but Cerrone can get ready now. Cerrone threw out 13 of 41, attempting to steal this season.
Once again, the thought of Billy Ball in the minds. Billy Ball's nothing more simple than a hit and run when you're ahead of the count.
Heath wasn't sure to sign, backed out of the box, which is his way of telling the coach, give it to me again if there is a play on. We'll see. Holding. Popped up. Into the stands, out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. These coaches, both coaches, do a good job of acting it out. Jackie Moore at first base, now whispering something to Mickey Klutz, the base runner. Backing into the box right now. Heath trying to punch one into right field.
One of the big reminders Jackie Moore always gives his base runners: watch a line driving infield, don't get doubled off, ground ball hit the second base, don't get tagged by him, getting a run down, make him take the force off.
Base hit for Heath. Well hit. Klutz stops at second, so Heath has his second base hit, and the Oakland A's have something going.
The second baseman, Dave
McKay is the batter. McKay into a force play his first time up. Billy Martin and George Steinbrenner. One out. It is low, ball 1. We're all tied, 1 apiece. We're in the 4th inning. Right back up the middle, base hit. Klutz is digging hard. He rounds third. The throw goes into third base. Heath is safe. Going to second is McKay. Oakland takes a 2-1 lead. I gotta believe he threw to the wrong base.
Well, it was close enough that he had to take a shot at him, but he overthrew his cutoff man. So as soon as McKay saw it was a high throw from Humphrey, he kept on going. If it's a low throw, at least Milburn can decoy the runner and freeze him at first base to keep the double play situation. Nice piece of hitting by Dave McKay. He had an exceptional pitch off Rudy May. It looked like a tailing sinker off the outside corner. Watch Mumphrey. As soon as this ball is sailing over the head, McKay sensed it. Jackie Moore said, keep on going. The throw off line. I think it's the right base, just a matter he didn't execute it properly.
They were
It
not
was too high.
They weren't playing that deep. And Mickey Heath goes all the way to third, draws the throw, and McKay goes to second. So we've got a break in the action here, and we'll be right back after these messages.
The 1981 World Driving Championship, the most coveted title in Grand Prix auto racing, will be decided live. Don't miss it when 3 of the world's best Grand Prix drivers battle head-to-head on a very special edition of NBC Sports World, Saturday on NBC.
George Frazier, born in Oklahoma City, 6'5", now lives in Tulsa. He came over from the Cardinals with a player to be named later in exchange for infielder Rafael Santana. Never mind the scoreboard. Where is that ice cream?
Frazier had 3 saves during the regular season, and of course, when you're a right-hander in the bullpen with Davis and Gossage, you don't get a whole lot of work.
Drumright is the pinch hitter for Bassetti.
Batting for Bassetti, number 14.
They're going to put him on and load him up.
Drumright, number 14.
Pitch to Stanley. Martin does have Pichot should he want a pinch hit against Frazier. He, of course, has got Spencer on the bench. Might feel it's a little too early.
Billy doesn't like the idea that Heath is just standing off to the side. Now he's just standing on the bag. So the bases are loaded with the intentional walk to Drumright, and Fred Stanley will be the batter. There's 1 out. Oakland has taken a 2-1 lead. Base hit by McKay broke the 1-1 tie. Thrown to Frazier. If the ball's hit back to you, give it to me and we'll get a double play.
There's a play that Billy works in first and third or bases loaded situation, especially with Stanley, where it's not a squeeze, but he will just have him bunt and push the ball by the pitcher toward Willie Randolph. None of the runners are going, but as soon as they try and do it to keep out of a double play is what they do.
Bob Lemon moving his infielders back at least halfway. Now they move him back. Oh, 1 out. Stanley taking a good look at Boyer. You see Boyer. Strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bases loaded. Stanley really giving Boyer a good look. Billy trying to squeeze out some more runs. He's leading by 1. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Real cat and mouse going on here. Strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. George having a hitting clinic over there.
Pretending he knows something about baseball again.
Ground ball off the glove. Nobody can make a play. Oakland leading 3-1. Watson diving, couldn't get it. Randolph tried to get it, and the Oakland A's are leading 3-1.
Frazier made a good pitch. He jammed Stanley.
Ricky Henderson.
They had shortened up their infield just a little bit to about halfway or less. So Willie Randolph really couldn't cover a whole lot of ground. An intimidation of Billy ball again. And it's an overworked word, but with so many things on the guy's mind, that little squibber off the fist that may have broken his bat. The Yankees are starting to play against Billy ball now instead of the Oakland A's.
Down he goes, Ricky Henderson, and up he comes. He's ready. Henderson tripled the last time up to drive in a run. Flied out to center field his first time. Bases loaded. One out. Broken bat. Cerrone, the throw. Double play. 1, 2, 3. Jackie Moore doesn't agree with the call at first base. Jerry Newdecker is the umpire. They're arguing. Now it's over. But the Oakland A's with 2 runs. Here's the play once again. So, middle of the 4th. Oakland 3, New York 1.
Only 15 days left till the season premiere of Hill Street Blues on NBC.
The series that swept the Emmys premieres Thursday, October 29th.
Graig Nettles will lead it off for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 4th. Yankees sweep, it says, but the Oakland A's says, I don't think so. They're leading by 2. 3-1's the score.
A lot of talk the last couple of days about Billy Ball, Reggie, George. We asked Graig Nettles what his feelings were about it.
Well, I saw 4 different newspapers today, and I actually saw one of them even mention Bob Lemon. So it's a strange thing. You know, here's our manager, and he doesn't even get any credit for or any build-up in the game. But he could be the key to this whole thing.
Probably the smartest thing that's been said. There is Bob Lemon, a Hall of Famer. He just sits back and gets the job done in a quiet way. A lot of authority.
He handles the pitching staff, I think, as well as anybody in baseball. And that may be the biggest part of the game.
Nettles singled his first time up, hit the ball hard to right field. Pulls the ball deep in the right center field, way back, off the wall. And a long single. What a play by that outfield. Murphy got that ball in on 1 hop.
Nettles didn't get all of it. The ball got a little bit in on his fist, up toward the handle of the bat. But what a play by Murphy. Armors can't get it. He finds the wall as he looks at the warning track. And in an away ballpark, to come up with the ball this quickly to show you the alertness of this Oakland A's Billy Martin team. Think of a guy who could have held, well, I guess there are a few, could have held him to a single on that.
Maybe a few, but not very many, that's for sure. And the double play is still in order. And Bob Watson is the batter. He was out on strikes his first time up. A long, long single for Graig Nettles. Off the end of the bat. Henderson in left field. Makes the play. So there's 1 out. It brings up Rick Cerrone. Tonight, Montreal Expos against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers won the first game. They battle for the National League pennant. That's 8 o'clock Eastern time for Game 2 of the Expos-Dodgers series. That's tonight, right here on NBC. Cerrone flied to left his first time up. Curveball misses, and it's ball 1. 1 out. There's a strike, a breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Billy, like he does with most of his starting pitchers, would like McCatty to go a long way because that is a very inexperienced bullpen.
Foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Like Billy is talking about, in fact, it's almost a certainty he will alter his pitching rotation. They were talking about Langford opening game 1 in Oakland, but he now says he may change to Keogh, Matt Keogh, game number 1 in Oakland. He would like to give Rick Langford an extra day rest.
Now they want to look at the ball. Getz is just giving him a ball. Checks it, says it's all right. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nettles at first. Count remains at 1-2.
Cerrone, since that left hand is healed, he had a really bad bruise on the back of his hand on a sprain. He missed quite a few games this season with injuries. He's been swinging the bat a little bit better since that left hand got well. Hit 2 balls very hard first 2 times up yesterday.
High. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Durwood Merrill at third base is really watching McCatty. He started in once. There he is. He's really checking him. One out.
Look out.
He hit him all right.
Caught the edge of his batting helmet, I think. Heath is saying he stepped into it. Billy's out now. He's going to have a few words with Russ Getz.
Meanwhile, Joe Altobelli is checking the ball to see if it's cut. He walked in from his third base coaching box and gave it to the ball boy. First and second for the Yankees as Billy continues his argument with the plate umpire, Russ Getz. There's 1 out. The batter is Willie Randolph.
Close to Rick Cerrone. Start driving into the ball. Turns his head. I don't know if that hit his shoulder or the edge of his batting helmet. It was so fast. It's a pitch to try and move Cerrone off the plate. It really tails in. Watch this ball take off. Just explodes inside toward the head of Cerrone.
I wonder what Billy was arguing about.
Well, Altobelli came charging in, asking to look at the ball after he saw that Cerrone. So Altobelli may have suspected, and you mentioned earlier that Altobelli's been playing, as we look at this, Altobelli's been playing the third base umpire, Durwood Merrill, I'm sure, saying, watch the ball, watch the ball. And he came running in. When Billy heard that, he said, you stay off my pitchers. Because this has happened the last 2 years with a filming by Mr. Steinbrenner of Oakland A's pitchers. Films end up in the league office.
Ball 1 on Willie Randolph. 1 out. Randolph singled his last time up. He drives one into right center field. Here comes Nettles, heading for third is Cerrone. And it's a 3-2 ball game.
Saw him right then thinking about his bullpen, which he does have going now, but he has not had great success going to it. I'll tell you, if Randolph starts hitting like he did the last 2 times up, the number 9 spot, he was moved down there because he wasn't hitting in the last game against Milwaukee.
So it's 3-2, 1 man out. Cerrone is on at third. Randolph is on at first. And Mumphrey is the batter. He is 1 for 2. He doubled his first time up and scored a run. Outside, ball 1. Third baseman Klutz as we look at Randolph at first. And Cerrone at third. Klutz is even with the bag. Outside, 2-0. Stanley coming in. Repeating what Art Fowler has said to his pitchers so many times, you can't catch a walk. Pitch, 3-0. And the Oakland bullpen is up and working. Dave Beard. It's the youngster Tony talked about last night.
Sooner or later, he's got to have somebody come out of that bullpen in a tough situation.
Bases are loaded, and Milburn is the batter with 1 out.
And out pops Billy. He may just stand out there for a while and have the umpire come out there because he wants to have a few words with him. And the words, if this does happen, might be, you're starting to pick on my pitchers again, is the reason because those films have been sent into the league office.
There goes Russ Getz out to the mound.
Just what Billy wants. He's baiting Russ Getz to come out.
See if they get into a beef. Just ignored him.
No, he called for a pitcher. He called for Beard.
He ignored Getz. So we've got a break in the action. McCatty will be leaving. It's a 3-2 ball game. Bases are loaded with 1 man out. We'll be right back after these messages. You see the words special edition Caesars Palace Grand Prix, and what that means is that 3 men have a chance to become the world champion in this, the Formula One season finale. And there'll be 30 of the best drivers there, and they'll be competing in the Caesars Palace Grand Prix. So that's this Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, a special edition of NBC Sports World, the Caesars Palace Grand Prix live this Saturday on NBC. Dave Beard is the new pitcher, 6'5", 215, born in Atlanta, Georgia, now lives in Chamblee, Georgia. He was the A's number 6 pick in the June 1977 free agent draft.
He spent some time up with Oakland last season. He's a hard thrower. Had good strikeout to innings pitch ratio in the minor leagues, and surprisingly enough, for a hard throw, he does not walk that many people, or didn't in the minor leagues. This is a different situation. There's a little more pressure right here.
The bases are loaded with 1 out. Milburn the batter. It's a strike. One man out. Bases loaded. Line foul. Beard, 2 quick strikes on Milburn.
All of Beard's appearances for the A's this year have been in relief. No game starts. He has 3 saves, which does not sound too high for most staffs, but he is tied with Jones for the club lead. Its entire staff for Oakland has just 10 saves.
Foul ball.
And that right there will give you an indication of the way Billy Martin handles his starters. He lets them go a lot longer, and his short relief men make very few appearances. You can do it with a DH.
Two-strike pitch. Up the middle, the base
Did Murphy make the play in center field? That is absolutely outstanding. The throw got by, but he got that ground ball. It looked like a sure score. You figure the man coming around third base is Willie Randolph with his speed and exceptional base. Look at the ball is just trickling out. But by playing shallow, charging the ball, coming up, throwing, he got that ball in a hurry. This is an outstanding outfield. We've seen it in this yesterday and just through 4 innings in this ball game.
So it's all tied up at 3 apiece. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1 man out, and Dave Winfield is the batter. He popped at the shortstop and he walked. Randolph is at 3rd. Mumphrey is at 2nd. Milburn is at 1st. Dave Beard on the mound. Curveball is a strike.
That's the pitcher in the shadows. We look at the bases, which are still jammed. Randolph, Mumphrey, Milburn. But that breaking ball, even a hanger, is the one you lose here.
Outside. Breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Dave Winfield.
Even Winfield there playing relatively shallow in left and center field, as you just saw.
Well hit. Down the line. Fastball. Extra bases. Randolph scores. Here comes Mumphrey. Milburn is held at 3rd. It's a double for Winfield. Yankees take the lead.
Which is what the Yankee scouting report said. Yankee scouting report praised the outfield very highly. The starting pitching for the Oakland A's very highly. It said if we can get into their bullpen, well, you see what's happening.
So now the infield has to move in. The Yankees leading 5-3. There's 1 out, and Lou Piniella, who replaced Reggie Jackson, is the batter. Fouls it back for strike 1. Winfield with the double. Driving in Randolph and Mumphrey. There you see him at 2nd, and the Yankees lead by 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. Henderson leaps and cannot make it. Home run for Piniella. Collection of experienced professional hitters. Piniella may be the, well, call him a pro hitter if you want. He is something. Charlie Lau saying, yeah, you got what you look for. And his crowd still standing, applauding. They want Lou. You saw Piniella duck into the runway, heading for the clubhouse for some reason. Charlie Lau in the backdrop. Here's Oscar Gamble. 8-3 is the score. Strike one. 7 runs. 9th man to bat in this inning. It all started on a long single by Nettles. It's a strike. 2 strikes to count.
You think Piniella Joe is one of those players from the old school? Some still think, very few, that it's Bush to come out and doff your cap, that it might be thought of as showing up the other team. So Lou refused.
Straight away center field. Coming hard is Murphy. He can't get it. Oscar Gamble is on with a single.
Ricky Henderson made an exceptional catch in last night's ball game. Watch him go after this ball with the glasses down, up against the fence. Just a super try by Ricky Henderson. We saw the excellent catch from a little taller man, Dave Winfield, earlier in the ball game. He's a tough little kid, Ricky Henderson.
You got to give him credit. He got above that fence, Tony. He tried.
Postseason
homer by Piniella, 6 hits in this inning.
Excuse me, Joe. In postseason play, you wouldn't expect Billy to go this long with a reliever, but he's looking at some of the other players he's got down.
Nettles, another base hit. Gamble is rounding second. They got, whoops, he holds up, and now they've got 2 guys. They got Nettles trapped. Now they're going after Nettles, and they're going to end up running Gamble down. They'll just go back to second base. They're both there. Oscar Gamble is out. The tag finally being made by the second baseman, McKay. Gamble had made a big turn at second base, and Nettles thought he was going all the way, and then he was
Oscar gets the stop sign. He wants to make an attempt at it, but he picks up Altobelli right here, and Altobelli says, not an Armstrong's arm. What Nettles was doing in the meantime, he was rounding the bag, watching the throw, and as he watched the ball go in, he assumed that Gamble was going to go to third base. Now you see all the trick plays but aren't going to work. You're not going to get yourself out of this one, Oscar. Nettles says, come here, I'm just going to stay here. I'm in scoring position. So Nettles, who was watching the ball coming in, as soon as he saw the ball released, thought it was over the head of the cutoff man. He was going to keep on going, and he got Gamble in trouble.
8-3 is the score here. Yankees are out in front. Billy Martin on the mound once again. Marty Springstead is the umpire being called in.
Now Jeff Jones has begun to throw. Bob Alchinko was throwing a little bit earlier. A little debate on the mound. Russ is saying, if you're going to make a move, make it quicker. Either have your conference and leave or call for the other pitcher. Marty Springstead, the crew chief, as he very well should, come out to break up the conference. I think the way Bremigan handled it yesterday and what he said to you, Joe, in the pregame show, I forget who it was that said it, an old-time umpire. He said the easiest thing to do is to throw a man out of the ball game. He said in postseason play especially, you want to keep all the players in the game because that's who the people came to see, not the umpires.
Watson fouls off the first pitch and it's strike one. Nettles goes into the record book as the only player in the league championship series to ever get 2 hits in an inning. Of course, he's not that old with these playoffs. Bouncing ball. Klutz will go to first base. High throw. Safe. Nettles moves to third.
You wonder how distracting Nettles was going in front of Klutz. And if he put a second thought in Mickey Klutz's mind that you should maybe tag me. Watch how closely Nettles is to him when he's going to unload this ball. He's got the easy play at first. Right there, right in his view. Here it is from left center field. Klutz has been injured off and on. In fact, they kind of kid him that in the last 3 years he spent more time on the disabled list than on the active roster. He's really had some tough luck.
So here is Cerrone. He was hit by a pitch ball. He came around to score. Curveball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Ball is a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dave Beard in relief. Cerrone, the 12th man to bat in this inning. Yankees have scored 7. It's 8-3. We're in the bottom of the 4th. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Nettles is on at 3rd. Watson is on at 1st.
Joe, in the sunshade position at Yankee Stadium, the kinds of pitchers as a hitter you like to see are the hard throwers who don't change speeds a lot. The McCattys, the Beards, it's the fellas who pull the string. I'll give you a good shot right now of how those shadows have been very dominant in this ballpark as far as hitting. Certainly hasn't showed the way the Yankees are swinging the bats, but I think it's basically because they're seeing all the same speeds on sliders, all hard stuff.
High fly ball, left center field. Henderson, Murphy says, I'll take it. He does. That ends the inning. But it's a big inning for the Yankees. The bottom of the 4th. They score 7. We complete 4 innings of baseball here. Yankees 8, Oakland 3. And Lou Piniella, a big 3-run homer, and the crowd reacts as he runs to his position with Lou. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
I'm Tony Randall. On my new TV series, I play Sidney Shore, who
takes care of me.
That's right. So join us for Love, Sidney, starting Wednesday, October 28th.
On NBC.
Donahue discusses the origins of sexual preferences tomorrow at 9.
The Goodyear blimp circling high atop Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Baseball tonight, Fernando Valenzuela. The Dodgers will face Ray Burris. Montreal, game number 2 for the National League pennant. 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Hope you fans throughout the country and Canada tune in to hear Dick Enberg and Tom Seaver call the action for that ball game. Right here, the Yankees may have blown this game apart. We're through 4 innings. They came up with 7 runs on 7 base hits in inning number 4 to take an 8-3 lead. Yankees won game number 1 last night, 3-1. A 3-run RBI double. Murphy fouls this off. 3-run RBI double by Graig Nettles. Nettles with 2 base hits in the 4th. The man on the right is Dave Rigetti. In that booklet, he'll be pitching game number 3 in Oakland. 1 ball, 1 strike to Murphy. Murphy has struck out twice, once called. Oakland scored a run in the 3rd, 2 runs in the 4th on 4 base hits. 2-1.
A 5-run lead will neutralize anybody, but especially this ball club, as we look at Jeff Jones, because it takes away a lot of the things that Billy would like to do.
Three balls, 1 strike to Dwayne Murphy. Oakland, 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. The Yankees, 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Fastball exploded, tail back over the plate to Murphy. Count goes 3-2. Billy may have had the take sign on all the way, 3-1, down by 5. Murphy, a disciplined hitter. Hit it on the fist. Piniella back to the warning track. He didn't get it. He may have kept it in the ballpark. Murphy will have a stand-up double. Piniella had a shot at that ball, Joe.
Yes, he did.
He got back, And then when he tried to backhand it, I don't know if he jumped too soon. We'll look at it. He just missed it.
He had a chance to catch it, never got a glove on it.
So Murphy's on second with nobody out, a double. We're going to have a pinch hitter for the Oakland A's. Batting for Calvin Moore, the first baseman, will be Jim Spencer, another former Yankee.
Jim Spencer, number 12.
Moore in the ball game, fly to center field and struck out. Spencer this season hit just 188 total, 205 for the Oakland A's. That sun begins to set behind the first base stands. Let's see if my geography is correct. That's Yankee Stadium, but there's that river, the East River.
Yeah.
Help me out. Popped up left side. Nettles. His glove shading the sun. One out.
You're kidding, aren't you?
It was the Grand Ole Hudson, huh?
Tony Ramos.
I thought you were pulling my leg.
Oh, isn't the East River right nearby here? Also?
On the east side of town. Your geography's good.
I get my bridges mixed up. I can't tell the George Washington Bridge from the Verrazzano Bridge. Too complicated. One out. Murphy at second. Armas the hitter.
Is that why it took you so long to get home when you're playing here?
Right. One ball, no strikes. We're in the top of the fifth. The Yankees lead 8-3. Frazier has relieved Rudy May. All right, you're so smart. Tell me what bridge that is.
I don't see enough of it. I'm looking at my statistician. He doesn't know either.
The
How
old
smart Steve
cop-out.
Danz is.
One ball, one strike, one out to Armas. Murphy at second. 2-1.
London Bridge.
One of those is the Whitestone. That I know. It goes over to New Jersey. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-2. Murphy at second base for the A's. Yanks with that 7-hit inning ties postseason play record. Baltimore 1970 had 7, or make that 7 hits, excuse me. Swung and missed, back to the backstop, so Armas will reach first base and Murphy will go to third. So a strikeout. Cerrone tries to slap it in front of him, but Armas will get first base.
Your attention, please.
Strikeout and a wild pitch.
Gentlemen, batting for Clubs, number 10.
Billy's really going to his bench. He has to. He's trailing by 5, 8-3.
Mickey Klutz as Wayne Gross comes to bat, a dead pull hitter. 1 out, 1 ball to count. No one warming up as of yet in the Yankee bullpen. Yankees with a 5-run lead. Early in the ball game, no pitch. Early in the ball game, you saw Rick Russell go on down. He said he is available, that the blister on his finger seems to be all right. Still too early for Davis, for Gossage. Overhead, the bullpens here in Yankee Stadium, which have been changed. They used to be concealed in the left and right center field area. Now they're surrounding the very picturesque area, almost a little park, popped up in the infield. Nettles across the mound, calls everyone off, out number 2. Barrows, the first general manager, Stengel, Miller Huggins, Babe Ruth, the monuments you see just above. They've created a little park. At one time, those monuments were in dead center field, out in the field of play, where it was 461 feet. Now with 2 outs, runners in first and third. There's Murphy at third base. Armas at first, not being held by Watson. Mike Heath, the hitter. Heath singled to center field and singled to left and scored a run in this ball game. One ball, one strike. And if you think it's difficult seeing for a hitter up at the plate at times today, could be trouble. Stopped just a little bit by Frazier off his leg, allowed Willie Randolph to go behind second base to get the force out on Armas. So the Oakland A's strand 2. Excellent pictures considering the shade and sun conditions by our technical people. We congratulate them. So here in Yankee Stadium, as we go to the bottom of the 5th, the Yankees lead over the Oakland A's by the score of 8-3. 2 up, the number 9 hitter Randolph, Humphrey, and then Milburn.
Sunday on Chips, Ponch enjoys a movie assignment until a deadly menace threatens the cast. Then move over, Smokey. Look out, Dukes. It's Nashville Grab, a world premiere movie.
Wayne Gross stays in the ballgame at third base after he pinch hit for the Oakland A's. Over at first base, Jim Spencer. New pitcher comes on for Billy Martin. Jeff Jones. There you see Jones' stats this year. Tied for the club lead in saves, as we mentioned, with Beard at just 3. 4 wins, 1 loss. Jones, born in Romulus, Michigan. He resides there now, actually born in Detroit. Been playing professionally for 4 years. Last year at Oakland, he was 1 win, 3 losses. All his appearances, 35 last year, were in relief. So he'll face Randolph, Mumphrey, Milburn. Randolph with 2 base hits, a run scored and an RBI. An RBI and run scored in the 4th inning. The Yankees scored 7. They lead 8-3. We're at the bottom of the 5th. Pitching from the stretch. Started off. A little bit unusual, Joe.
It really is, unless he feels comfortable. Managers don't really care what you do before you throw the ball. Just get it over the plate with something on it.
1 ball. 1-1. Yankees won game number 1 for the American League pennant last night, 3-1. Dodgers have a 1-game lead over Montreal. They won 5-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Willie Randolph. Joe Altobelli, former manager of the San Francisco Giants. Popping the sunflower seed. Fouled off by Randolph. Yankee Stadium. You're seeing a panoramic view. Still a big ballpark, but at one time, it was a ballpark when I saw Henry Aaron come here in '57 and took batting practice the day before. He said, "I'm glad I don't hit here." Attractive for left-handed hitters, however, if you can pull the ball. Stanley. Spencer, 1 out.
The center fielder.
Bring up Jerry Mumphrey, who doubled, scored a run in the 1st, walked and scored a run in the 4th. This is a very well-balanced Yankee ball club. When you look at their bench strength, I don't think there's a team in baseball that can send more long ball hitters up to the plate, clutch situations. They have power from the left side, power from the right side, starting pitching depth. You know about their bullpen, anchored by Ron Davis and Goose Gossage. Fouled out of play, 1-1. Yankees 8, Oakland 3. We're at the bottom of the 5th. 55,000 people here last night. Plenty of seats available today. Mumphrey up the middle. Stanley will not get it. So Mumphrey's been on base 3 times in this ball game. He'll bring up Larry Milbourne, who was 2 for 3 with a run scored.
The shortstop, Larry Milbourne.
There's 1 out. The Yankees have their 12th hit on the board now. Piniella with a 3-run home run. Winfield with a double with 2 RBIs in that big 4th for the Yankees where they scored 7 times. 1 strike. One thing about Mike Heath, catcher, he is not afraid to throw. Scouts will tell you he'll throw to second. You just snap throw to first. He's not afraid to throw to third, which is probably the most dangerous base because that's where a runner can score if you throw it errantly. 1-1. McCatty started. Beard, the second pitcher for Oakland. Now it's Jeff Jones. I haven't seen any other ball club like the Yankees do in the on-deck circle swing that sledgehammer. I've seen leaded bats. Here it is. Reggie Jackson, who left the ball game with a slight bruised calf or slight pull. Fly ball, right center field. Murphy back. 2 outs.
Winfielder.
We're going to show you back in the second inning as Winfield comes into the batter's box. When Tony Armas, the first hitter in the second inning, came up and lined what looked like a sure home run, except for this 6'6" giant who tears the canvas wall and pulls it out of the stands. At that time, the Yankees had a 1-0 lead that might have tied it. 2 outs. Mumphrey's at first. Yankees 8, Oakland 3. We're in the bottom of the 5th. One strike. Winfield's been in the middle of a few things. Slide last night, the pressure, a possible double play, the pivot man. A great catch today. A double for 2 RBIs in the 4th before Piniella's home run. 1 strike, 2 outs. Jerry Mumphrey at first base. Oh, 2. Well, another shot above Yankee Stadium as plane goes into LaGuardia. Winfield taking a lot of time with a 2-strike count. Like Bob Lemon has not got too much publicity in the pre-league championship hype. Check swing, did he go? Peeled down to the first base umpire, Jerry Neudecker, he says no. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pace of this game has slowed considerably.
If it goes any slower, the blimp could give some traffic reports and we could be doing some good.
The Oakland A's play long ball games. In fact, they average just under 3 hours per game, which is the longest average of any team in the major leagues. I guess part of that's Billy Ball, part of that is a relatively young pitching staff. Popped up by Winfield on a breaking pitch in the infield. Gross has it for out number 3. So, the Yankees strand a runner in the 5th, but they'll go to the 6th. With George Frazier taking the mound with a score, Yankees 8, Oakland 3. That is the Hudson. 3 as we go to the 6th. It'll be Dave McKay, Keith Drumright, and Fred Stanley facing George Frazier. Tomorrow night, we'll be in Oakland for game number 3. 2 strikes on McKay. Scheduled pitchers for the Yankees, Dave Righetti. If you haven't seen him, well, he's been clocked at times at 97 miles an hour with an exceptional straight change of pace. Billy Martin has suggested he will change his pitching plans and instead of Rick Langford, go with Matt Keel, but we'll wait and find out. Chop foul by McKay. Clyde King. Glasses to the left. Bob Lemon. Great Cleveland Indian star who started as an outfielder, then went to the Hall of Fame as a pitcher. Art Fowler on the right. Billy Martin. Still relatively subdued at that particular moment.
Lemon, as we know, Tony, as we listen to him, he always minimizes his abilities. He said he started as a shortstop, third baseman, and he hit himself onto the mound.
Now, he was from the pre-designated hitters days. He's one of the best hitting pitchers around.
That's right.
In fact, if the Yankees go on into the World Series, there will be no designated hitter this year. So for the last 3 weeks, the Yankee pitchers have been taking batting practice. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2-2. And they are already rating the hitters. They say that Guidry is the best. Behind him is Russell. And Righetti swings the bat pretty well. But if you haven't hit all year long and you're called upon to hit with just 3 weeks of batting practice, it's tough enough. Which will give a little advantage to the National League in that situation. 2-2. He got it. Good breaking ball from Frazier. Looked like McKay just lost the ball.
Designated.
Now it's Keith Drumright. Somewhere the George Washington Bridge can be seen from Yankee Stadium. Might be in the upper left-hand corner right now. I got to check out with the geographers around me. Bunted out in front of home plate. Cerrone out in a hurry. He gets Drumright. 2 outs. You think I'd know by now after having traveled 9 years back and forth across that bridge.
Cerrone gets out there in a hurry. And he's very confident once he gets that ball with that arm of his, and Drumright's an easy out.
Top of the 6th, 2 outs. Fred Stanley facing Frazier. Yankees 8, Oakland 3. Oakland with 8 base hits. Committed 1 error. The Yankees have 12 hits. 1 strike to Stanley. Stanley has popped out and singled. 1-1.
That single he got, I thought was going to be a big one for the Oakland A's. It was at the time, but that big inning by the Yankees sure erased it.
Well, when Henderson, an unlikely double play prospect, hit about the only place he could right after that, where you could double him up back to the pitcher.
Yeah.
Pitcher, catcher, force out, down to first base. 1-2. What a pitch by Frazier. Right on the outside part of the plate. Stanley called out on strikes. 3 up, 3 down. Not many times in this ballgame has that happened. Way back in the 1st. But we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. With the Yankees leading 8-3 over the Oakland A's. There are your do-ups. Well, the boos you hear in the background are not for me. They're for Joe Garagiola. Now, what's happening right now is Lou Piniella, who had a 3-run home run in that 7-run Yankee inning in the 4th, is just stepping in, and that's the way they show appreciation, by calling out Lou. 8-3, bottom of the 6th. Jeff Jones, the third Oakland pitcher, fouled off by Piniella. Piniella took Jackson's place when he injured his leg. Says he will be back. But at George, Reggie made you money. As Tommy John said, Reggie's worth every penny they give him. He may become a free agent. He will have people clamoring at his doorstep to pay him money, because the man can win ball games. Fouled up ball down the right field line, out of play. When you look at the Jackson record, the tip-off to me is in 14 seasons. He's been in 9 times he's been in postseason play. If that doesn't spell winning ball player, it is not coincidental, folks, that he drives in the big runs. 2 strikes, the count on Lou Piniella. McCain to his right, backhand. Spencer, a Gold Glove winner, scoops it out. 1 out. This telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball, intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. 1 out, it'll be Oscar Gamble. He's grounded out, called out on strike. Had a single in that 4th inning, but the Yankees got 7 base hits, tying a Baltimore record. Big slow curve from Jones, 1 ball. One and one, fouled out of play. That's got to be the George Washington Bridge. Or is it? I'm learning to protect myself, I'll tell you. 1 and one, 1 out. A quiet ball game since the 4th. The Oakland A's scored 2 for their 3rd run. Yankees scored once in the 1st, then hung a big 7 in the 4th.
Those Oakland fans will be out, Tony, when we get out there. The ball club is giving them a lot of excitement.
2 balls, 1 strike to Gamble with 1 out. 2 and 2. Well, Billy came out and said, he said, generally speaking, the fans in Yankee Stadium are great. He said, last night there were a few rowdies, fireworks, and a ball hitting Armas in the back, and a golf ball just missing Goose Gossage. And Billy issued a plea to his fans. He said, we got great fans there. I just hope they don't get rowdy at all like some of those here in Yankee Stadium. 3 and 2. Cleve Boyer said that he thinks the Oakland A's fans that he has seen this year are supportive and probably as loud as any in baseball. And we'll hear it tomorrow night. 3-2, 1 out. Gamble walks. He waits for the call from Getz. So he's on with 1 out. They bring up Nettles, who was 3 for 3 in the ball game. The 2nd, a single to right. In the 4th, a single to center. He scored. In the 5th, a single to right. Talked about this ballpark being made for Babe Ruth's swing or vice versa, and the ballpark being made for Yogi, being made for Roger Maris. The year he had 61 home runs. The swing of Nettles is suited very well to this ballpark. He can pull the ball when it's 2 inches outside off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes to Nettles.
I remember when Maris hit those home runs, they put that asterisk there, and everybody said, well, yeah, this, that, and the other thing. Nobody's come close since. That's pretty good hitting all those.
Well, I'll tell you, for 6 years, Roger Maris was as great a player as there was in the game. And I'm including the Mazes, the Mantles, Clementes, Aarons, Frank Robinson. He could throw with strength and accuracy.
I think
he could run bases. He was a sprinter.
That's one of the things that bothers him, that everybody remembers him just for the home run. I don't blame him, because he was a good ball player, all-around ball player.
1 ball, 1 strike. Big looping curve, pulled foul. I think people finally realized how good Roger was after he left the Yankees, and the Cardinal players who saw him play when Roger was on pennant winners there, and they said, we knew he could hit home runs. We didn't know he could do all the other things.
He was an all-around ball player.
1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Yankees 8, Oakland 3. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Gamble's at first. Nettles is your hitter. He jammed him. He pulled it foul. May have shattered his bat.
He hit it right on the thumbs and hit it about 250.
Well, they might have win number 2 under their belts after today. With that bullpen, you would think, although we're only in the 6th. Look out. Real slow off-speed pitch. Throwing behind Nettles.
If you're going to get hit, that's the pitch you like to get hit on. That nice, big, lollipop, marshmallow, slow curveball.
It's like getting hit in a pillow fight right there.
Nettles didn't seem to move. Let's watch it.
The first baseman.
Oh, it's a slow curveball that no way he's going to get out of the way. So now the Yankees, with 1 out, have 2 men on base. Mike Ferrara, the first base coach. Sharon was hit earlier. Close to being much more serious than Nettles. Ball that may have nicked the bill of the batting hammer to Sharon earlier in the ball game. Obviously, the Yankee section here in the stadium. See, that's out in the bleachers in left center field. 1 out. It's Watson. Base hit left field. Gamble may try and score. Altobelli waving him home. Here comes the Henderson throw. Not in time. 9-3 Yankees. Nettles, when he was hit by the pitch in the 6th, that was the 4th time he was on base. Of course, he ran Oscar Gamble off the base 1 time. You take away an awful lot of the Billy ball. You got a 6-run lead, as the Yankees do now. Martin, should this Yankee lead hold up, I'm certain we'll say that they're going home and they can win 3 straight, which is really a possibility. Probability, I don't know. With Righetti and Guidry coming at you. One strike to Cerrone. 1 out. Yankees have 2 on base.
So far, this has really been the only blowout game in this whole mini-series league championship and everything.
1-1. Well, we had the 6-1 ball game. Los Angeles against the Astros. There are your 2 runners, Nettles and Watson. But I think a lot of people expected pitching to be somewhat dominant. You ordinarily do at this time of the year. Those hitters have 4 cracks. And this year, with pitchers we think a little bit stronger, after the 2 months off, pitchers are coming into postseason play this year, where I think a good example is last year. Steve Carlton, who's as strong as a horse, going into the World Series, including spring training, at about 350 innings pitched. You see starting pitchers now coming into postseason play where they've got 150 innings pitched. And those hot months from the middle of June to the middle of August, when the strike was going, they did not have to exert themselves and waste that energy and blow their arms away. Fouled out of play. Heath back. He may have a shot. He doesn't get it. He may have, in a very subtle fashion, taken it out on a couple of fans with that glove out of frustration. 1-2 with 1 out.
Looked like he had a chance. Now he starts to, the wind drifts it. Now watch him get the guy finally with the glove.
Yeah.
He gets him.
1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Get yourself another one, Mike. Mike Heath, the former Yankee. We get together this ball club. It's like the Yankee Alumni Association, with Boyer coaching at third, Billy Martin, your manager, Fowler, former pitching coach here. 1-2 with 1 out. 9-3 Yankees over Oakland. We're in the bottom of the 6th. I got it right. Didn't think I did for a while. Popped up. Short right center. Armas, look out! Collision. Armas got it. He ran down Dave McKay, but McKay appeared to roll with it. So there are 2 outs.
McKay just seemed to be standing there watching the play, and all of a sudden realized right here, this gets right in the way of the traffic, and down he goes. Luckily, no one hurt.
The second baseman, Willie Randolph.
2 outs. The idea for an infielder, you keep coming till you hear that outfielder call you off. It's a system used by most teams. One of those right in between where neither McKay nor Armas were certain they could get it. Of course, when you get crowds reacting in big ballparks and yelling, you don't hear each other at times. So there are 2 outs. Yankees with runners on first and second. It's Willie Randolph with a couple of base hits, a run scored, and an RBI single. That was in the 4th. 1 strike. Not a weak spot in this Yankee lineup as we see the 2 base runners. Fouled out of play. I think it'd be safe to say that when the Yankee ball club is healthy, all around in almost every department, they're the best team in baseball. And they could lose the remainder of these games. The man in the center of your picture, left center, spent the money to build the ball club. And like Cedric Tallis, Al Rosen for a while was here now with Houston. Had some input as to player selection, free agency, along with a lot of good scouts. Off the end of the bat, Randolph grounds to Spencer, flips to Jones, 3 outs. The Yankees strand 2. So we'll go to the 7th here in Yankee Stadium. With the score, the New York Yankees 9, the Oakland A's 3. 2 up. Henderson, Murphy, Spencer. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek as we look at the lineup card posted in the Oakland dugout. That's how they keep track of it. Been a lot of players. 9-3 is the score. Yankees are out in front.
Oh, we got a chance. Look at third base Coach Clete Boyer. I want to wish you a happy 78th birthday to his father Vern down in Alba, Missouri. The Boyer clan, 7 brothers, all played professionally, which is quite a story. 3 in the major leagues. Ken, of course, Clete, Cloyd. Clete's name mentioned down to that Atlanta job. Some writer came up to him right after the ball game. He said, I don't even want to think about it. We just lost the ball game. There's $20,000 to $30,000 at stake if we make the World Series.
Here is Henderson. First pitch is low, and it's ball 1. Henderson tripled in the 3rd inning. And it's ball 2. Yankees have left base runners on in every inning. Oakland went down in order in the 6th. They went down in order in the 1st. They've had left base runners on. Yankees 9, Oakland unofficially 7. Henderson doesn't get it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Big blast was the 3-run homer by Piniella. That was in the 4th. Yankees scored 7 runs. Three-1 deficit. They took the lead. 8-3. Now it's 9-3. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Henderson.
This relief job that Frazier's giving him has got to be a real plus for Bob Lemon and the Yankees. He doesn't want to use Davis, and he doesn't want to use Gossage unless he has to. If he does, he wants to use him for an inning or so apiece only. Save him.
Randolph to Revering, who's gone into play first base, and Henderson is out. And there's a new right fielder.
Dwayne Murphy.
Bobby Brown has gone out to right field. Got in the ball game last night.
Murphy, the batter, struck out in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, and then doubled in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Ball 1. One ball and 1 strike, a fastball. Frazier's job is to throw strikes. Jim Spencer, the on-deck batter. Curveball inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Well hit, base hit. So Murphy is on.
Joe, while Jim Spencer steps in, we'll let Jimmy Spencer tell our fans around the country what he thinks Billy Ball is.
Billy Ball is the unexpected, the unpredictable, keeping the team off balance. The Oakland A's not making mistakes and being ourselves, winning a game with a home run, winning a game with stealing a run with a man on the third and 2 outs, the squeeze play, and being aggressive and the element of surprise. That's Billy Ball.
Jim Spencer, the element of surprise. And there's the man, Billy Martin, with Art Fowler, who got Billy Ball going in Oakland. Straight away center field. Mumphrey is there, makes it. 2 outs.
You know what Billy Ball is, too? Billy Ball is bringing out a lot of plays that have been around baseball forever. A lot of managers don't use him as much anymore.
Johnny Amos.
A double steal, first and third.
I think Billy Ball is also doing it their way. It's easy to forget that Billy said he was going to finish this high. Nobody believed him last year, or a few believed him this year, but he's done it. Armas, strike 1. 2 outs. 9-3. The Yankees are out in front. We're in the 7th inning. Move on to Oakland tomorrow. Night game. Dodgers play Montreal tonight. It gets by Cerrone. Murphy will move down to second. See how they call it. Red Foley and Glenn Schwartz, the official scores. Here's the last pitch. How would you rule it if you were the official scorer? Pass ball. And that's what they rule it.
It's funny, since the big inning, the Yankees seem to be a little sluggish. Do they to you? They're getting good pitching from Frazier, but they had the running gaff on the bases where Nettles ran Gamble off the base. And that last one, they're going up to the plate and maybe not swing as authoritatively.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Our view from behind home plate. Tony, when you score 7 runs like that, it's like eating a big meal. You just want to go in the corner like a big St. Bernard and lay there.
Yeah.
And that's what the Yankees have done. They're sitting on their lead. They did pick up a run here in the 6th. But it just happened. They didn't get it aggressively. Foul ball.
You think they'll have a surprise visitor to the clubhouse after the game today?
1 ball and 2 strikes. No, I don't think so. They'll all be heading for the airport, just like we will. For Oakland. And the Oakland fans will get a chance to say, hey, Billy and the guys, you brought us a lot of excitement this summer. We're behind you. And that's what it's all about. Murphy's on at second base. 2 outs. He chased a bad ball out on strikes. That's the 9th Oakland A's to go down. And Armas has been a victim 3 different times. So as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning to score here, it's the New York Yankees 9 and the Oakland A's 3.
The entire meaning of baseball is time. Baseball is how we get even with those relentless seconds and minutes and hours of life. While the game is being played, time miraculously changes. Baseball fever. Catch it. It's worth it.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Yankee Stadium, it's game 2, 9-3. Yankees are out in front. As we look at the American League box, left to right, man in the brown suit is Arthur Watson, president of NBC Sports. Gentleman with his arms folded, Lee McPhail. And behind Arthur Watson, his right arm, the man with his hands in his pocket, Dick Butler. He is in charge of the American League umpires.
New pitcher on the mound now for The Oakland A's, Brian Kingman. 3 wins, 6 losses this year. 15 game starts.
Ladies and gentlemen,
His 4th appearance as a relief pitcher.
for Oakland, number 50, Brian Kingman. Number 50.
Kingman, 6'1", 190, born in Los Angeles, now lives in Sunshine, Louisiana. Great name. He was signed as a free. Harlem River. Blimps. 12 runs, 22 hits. Get it off here. Mumphrey doubled in the 1st inning. He walked in the 4th inning and scored both times. He had a base hit in the 5th. Two for 3. Kingman on the mound. Heath motions fastball, swung on, base hit. They had played him the pull. Mumphrey has his 3rd base hit of the afternoon. He's on. It brings up Milburn. He singled in the 1st inning, bounced out in the 3rd, singled to drive in a run, and scored in the 4th. Flied out in the 5th. He is 2 for 4. 9-3. Yankees are out in front. Bottom of the 7th inning. It's a strike.
The Yankees really did not hit well as a team all year long. They really couldn't get going, especially the 2nd half. The games they were winning were guys just coming up and the pitching was holding them close. They were popping those home runs. That's Milwaukee with Jackson, Oscar Gamble at home runs back-to-back. But they look like they're beginning to hit as a team now, don't they? Or they have today.
Today. Ball almost hit him. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Larry Milburn, what a job he has done. Bucky Dent injured. Milburn has come on and has really done a super job for the Yankees. Bouncy ball. Spencer, a beautiful play. Goes to 2nd and gets the lead man. What a play by Jim Spencer. Keeps a double play in order. That's a major league play.
He kept the 1st and 3rd in order, too. That was what it was going to be. The ball was through. Show you the reason why the man's won a Gold Glove. He went as far as he could go. Still had the composure to right himself and get the lead runner. That is a beautiful play. There's been a much maligned infield. This infield, the 2nd half of the season, did not cost Billy Martin very many ball games.
He rotated with his shortstop, but they only made 8 errors between them. Spencer, you just saw a tremendous play. So Dave Winfield is the batter. 1 man out. Winfield popped out in the 1st inning. He walked in the 3rd, doubled hard to drive in 2 runs in the 4th, and popped up in the 5th. Foul ball out of play, and it's strike 1. It's some watch. I think the other little guy is saying it pretty much. One strike.
Well, Jackson started the ball game, injured his leg or foot. He's replaced by Piniella with a 3-run home run. Bobby Brown is on the on-deck circle now, who will hit next.
Base hit for Winfield. Single to left field.
And talking as we look at the runners at 1st and 2nd now about Jackson, the big talk about will he be back in New York or not, or the countdown. So we went to Reggie and said, you coming back or you leaving?
I have no idea, Tony. Right now I'm concerning myself with trying to play baseball for 2 more weeks, whether it's 7 more games, whether it's 12 more games, whatever it may be. I want to continue winning. I want to make people proud of the way I've played and proud of the way this ball club plays, and I want to be proud that I wore a New York Yankee uniform. What happens in the winter will take care of itself. I have no crystal ball. I'm not looking into the future. I'm 99% sure I'm going to go through the draft, but come see, come saw, and whatever happens, happens.
Reggie Jackson.
About a week ago, I read the figure he was 90% sure he's leaving. Now he's 99.
Inflation has hit everywhere. Bobby Brown. 1 ball, took a curveball inside. And it's ball 2.
So the Yankees have 3. If we look at the base runners at second and at first, Winfield at first. Guidry, go to the free agent market, Mumphrey, and Jackson.
2 balls, no strikes on Bobby Brown. He fouls it back. Bobby Brown was back and forth to Columbus like you and I, go from kitchen to living room. Two balls in the strike with 1 out. Bob Lemon, Charlie Lau, Clyde King flanking him. Guidry next to King. Fastball over the outside corner. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees with 15 base hits. There have been 24 in the ball game. Yankees lead by 6. 9-3 is the score. Brian Kingman. Fouled out of play.
I was looking out in left field at Ricky Henderson. He's having a little trouble with the sun. There's still a little sun out in left field. In fact, when he stands up, he put the glove. Was it Alex Johnson, the outfielder, when he came and played in Yankee Stadium? He didn't care if he played the hitters right. He used to follow the shade around. Wherever it was shady, Alex would stand.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Left field. Base hit. And so the bases are loaded. As Milburn goes to third, Winfield is second, Bobby Brown is on at first, and Oscar Gamble is the batter, and Art Fowler, the pitching coach, has come out of the dugout for Billy Martin. 16 base hits for the Yankees.
Fowler has done such a marvelous job with his pitching staff. In fact, every pitcher you go to, instead of Fowler, he taught us how to be winning pitchers. Matt Key, who lost 17 one year and then became a successful pitcher. Former Yankee pitching coach. In fact, he was pitching.
Look at the blimp that's been giving us all the great shots. There's inside the blimp. That's Captain Larry Chambers, all the way from Spring, Texas. And now Heath wants to talk to Alchinko. Tony, I have a tendency to call Mike Heath Mickey Heath. Remember Mickey Heath used to broadcast in Milwaukee, former ball player?
Sure, we listened to him as a kid out of old Orchard Field.
That's right. I know I've called Mike Heath Mickey a couple times, and that's the reason. Gamble takes a strike on the outside corner. Gamble bounced out, struck out, singled, walked and scored. 9-3, bottom of the 7th. The Yankees are out in front. It is inside. 1-1.
Every Yankee who started this ball game with a base hit, except Cerrone. He was hit by a pitch and scored. Gamble came in, he got a base hit. Piniella came in for Jackson, he got a 3-run home run.
Left field. Henderson going back. Tagging up Milburn. Here's the throw. And it's 10-3. Sacrifice fly for Gamble. So there are 2 outs, and it's a 7-run lead now, 10-3 to score, and here is Graig Nettles. Nettles single in the 2nd, single and scored in the 4th. He's single in the 5th, and hit by a pitch ball in the 6th. Winfield at 2nd, Bobby Brown is at 1st. record book with most runs, one club in the game. Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek. Is revving as a batter. Nettles, what a day. 4 base hits. Has just hit a 3-run homer. It's 13-3. Another hit. That's the 18th hit for the Yankees, which ties the record. Baltimore against Minnesota in 1969 had 18 base hits, 16 runs. It has been a long day for Billy Martin and his Oakland A's.
As far as I can make out of my scorecard, the man stepping in right now is the only Yankee player who doesn't have a base hit. What do you got? Revering got one.
Yep.
Piniella got the home run.
Brown got one.
Brown got one. And all the other starters.
That's what I got. Randolph has got one. George Steinbrenner.
The man he's talking to right behind George is Bill Burgish, who's been around baseball a long time in a lot of capacities. A very sound baseball mind. Has a lot to do with the development of player personnel now, helping run their farm systems.
Cerrone takes it low. 2 balls and 1 strike. So you try to check your scorecard. We have to unofficially say that, but that's why I look at it. Cerrone's the only one that doesn't have the hit. Bouncing ball. Stanley has it to McKay. And that's it. Force play. But another big inning for the Yankees. They score 4. 7 innings completed here at Yankee Stadium in Game 2. Nettles, what a day he has had. 4 base hits, 2 runs scored, a home run, 3 RBIs. 13-3 Yankees over Oakland, end of 7.
Into what was it, a calf muscle, they said?
Yep. Not serious.
Expects to play. Game number 3 tomorrow night from Oakland.
High. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Randolph boots it, comes up with it, and grosses out.
Starting pitchers we get for game number 3. Not official. Dave Righetti, great-looking young left-hander. And Martin has suggested he might go to Matt Keogh instead of Langford.
Here's Heath, but let's pause briefly for our station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
One strike to count. Heath fouls it off. Strike 2. Heath doesn't believe it. Time like this, I tell you, call a strike you don't agree with. You're liable to turn around and say, as that one goes outside, ball 1, I guess you want to get it over, huh, Mr. Umpire? And about that time, it's been a long day for the umpires, and the temper's a bit short. There's the strike. And Heath is going to make his last speech, and he may get launched. Heath flipped the bat away, and the crowd reacting.
Dave McKay.
It's a 5th strikeout for Frazier, 10 strikeouts for Yankee pitching.
Heath trying to stir something up with Russ Getz, the home plate umpire. He is feisty, to say the least. We mentioned last night, in case you didn't hear, it's one of the reasons Billy Martin got him, is he slams the bat into the dirt.
Base hit. McKay gets his 2nd base hit of the afternoon. And that's 28 base hits, both ball clubs. 18 for the Yankees, 10 for Oakland, and that ties a record for the most hits by 2 teams.
Yankees really haven't got that many extra base hits. Again, running through my scorecard very quickly, they've just got 4 extra base hits.
U.S. crew
Winfield's got a double. Piniella the home run. Nettles a home run. Let's see, I'll find the other one somewhere hidden in there. I'll look a while.
Left field, Winfield on drum right. Makes the catch. That ends the inning. So we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. The score here, it's the Yankees 13, Oakland 3.
The shell dealer just gave me this good-looking football print for free. They're giving away 6 different prints of the Giants and the Jets. This week, it's Sims or Rasmussen. You just go into any Shell station and pick one up. You don't even have to buy anything.
Oh, come on, man. Why would anybody want a picture of this guy?
Why? Well, if you knew anything about football, you would know why. These armchair quarterbacks, they're all alike. What's this? Gonna go out and play a little game of touch this afternoon? You know, that's Bradshaw's number.
This week, Sims or Rasmussen, not Terry Bradshaw.
Donahue discusses the origins of sexual preferences tomorrow morning at 9.
4 o'clock Saturday. Randolph lines it foul, as I started to say, live from Caesars Palace this Saturday on NBC. And Randolph is out. Ochinko makes the play. Let me give you overview of our trucks parked in the lot adjacent to Yankee Stadium. Here are some of the records involved. Mumphrey comes up. Nettles, 2 hits in an inning. Record, the championship series, 13 runs, most runs in the game. The records that have been tied: most hits in an inning, 7. That was in the 4th inning. Most runs in an inning, 7. Most hits, both clubs, 28. And 18 hits in the game, 1 club.
And I found that 4th Yankee extra base hit. Mumphrey leading off. Double to left.
There's another base hit, so records will drop. The last 2 I mentioned. Most hits, both clubs, now 29. 19 hits in the game, 1 club. The Yankees have the record as Mumphrey
What a
gets
day.
hit number 4.
5th time that Mumphrey has been on. Off Ochinko. Watch Mumphrey go after him from the right side. Right down the middle. The young shortstop's going to bat now. Going to get a little postseason experience, Joe. Andre Robertson.
Ball 1. We saw this youngster break in, and they have high hopes for him. He is a tremendous prospect. Andre Robertson.
It's the weekend on that Friday night game, the weekend that Gene Michael left. What a play.
Nice play by McKay to Stanley. 1. That's all they'll get. McKay made a fine play.
The Oakland A's are a little testy because Fred Stanley really low-bridged the runner coming in.
Dave Winfield.
Really a nice play by Dave McKay. Hit very hard. McKay goes to his left. Spins to get the lead runner, Mumphrey. Watch Chicken Stanley down there. You better get down. He didn't get down too soon either. Ball almost got him.
It's a way those infielders will protect themselves, and trailing by 10. Watch him as he throws it here.
A much better shot from left center field. He did not get out of the way very quickly.
He will next time. He'll not wait to see the seams of the whites of the ball. Winfield is the batter. Winfield has 2 base hits. He has scored twice, driven in 2 runs. It's a strike. Looking ahead to the 9th inning for Oakland, it'll be Stanley, Henderson, and Murphy scheduled ahead. 13-3 Yankees over Oakland. Real blowout. Straight away center field. Murphy, plenty of room. Makes the catch. That ends it. So at the end of 8 complete innings, 13 runs, 19 hits, no errors for New York, 3 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for Oakland. And it'll be Stanley, Henderson, and changes. Robertson stays in the game at shortstop. And a new catcher, Barry Foote. There you see Berryfoot. And looks like Billy Martin's going to a pinch hitter. Davis has come on.
Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Batting for Stanley, number 16, Mike Davis.
Mike Davis is the pinch hitter for Stanley. All on. 13-3 Yankees. 2 up as they move into Oakland. 2 balls and no strikes. Lines one to left field, and Davis is on. Hit that ball hard to the opposite field. So Davis is on, nobody out. Henderson is a batter. Henderson flied to center, tripled in the third, driving a run, hit into a double play, and bounced out. Reverend way back, obviously, with a 10-run lead. Strike one. Rodriguez has gone in to play third base. Day's work is over, and the train delivering the passengers. 3 balls and 1 strike. $48,497 here in the ballpark. Goodbye Billy is what they're singing. Ground ball to Randolph. 1. Bad throw. Backed up by Foot. Henderson will not be able to advance. So it's 1 out, a force play. Robertson really came across that bag. Watch how he flies across that bag. Not so sure he was on the bag when he caught the ball. See what you think. See if he's on the bag when he gets the ball now. No way. He was in the neighborhood. He was off the bag. Close enough. Bad throw, but Henderson couldn't advance, so there's no error. There's 1 out. Here's Murphy. Ball 1. Murphy with 2 base hits. He doubled in the 5th. Back. Double play. Game is over. Yankees take a 2-0 lead. Robertson back 3-6-3. And the Yankees go into Oakland leading by 2. Final score, there you see it. New York 13, Oakland 3. Winning pitchers Frazier, the losers McCatty, a big 7-run inning in the 4th. Piniella's 3-run homer, the big blast. Tomorrow will be Rigetti against Langford as 48,497 watched it here. NBC's American League Championship Series has been brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invites you to test drive the 1982 Ford cars and trucks. By the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by the Bell System Yellow Pages, the first step. Let your fingers do the walking through the Bell System Yellow Pages. And by K-Care, where quality automotive parts and service are Kmart priced. 13-3 the Yankees over Oakland. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. We serve more of this land's top 100 business centers than any other airline. Fly the friendly skies.
This has been a presentation of NBC Sports, the leader in innovative sports television.
Premiering Saturday, October 24th, it's the best of comedy and variety. The Nashville Palace, hosted by Roy Clark with Tanya Tucker and Jerry Reed. The Nashville Palace.